Hello, I hope you're having a great day. So, I stayed up last night. It's really windy today. I'm just gonna get to all my chores. Okay, so I've got all of my LIsianthus in the field that I've hardened off. So I have 6 more trays that I just brought out 2 days ago, and they have been in the greenhouse cold frame. But they really need a little bit more sunlight if I'm gonna like leave this up. So I'll probably leave this up all morning and then shade it again in the afternoon like I did yesterday. And then tomorrow I'll probably leave it up until 2 and then shade it, and then 3, and then I'll get them to where I don't have to shade them at all. So that's awesome. They're all looking really good today, and I think I can fit 2 more trays at the bottom. So I need to start getting those in the shed hardened off so that I can get them in with these, and then I'll have 4 trays that I need to find somewhere to put them, which honestly I'm gonna end up putting them on down the row. So whether I have to wait until our last frost, or I put them in and then just cover them with frost cloths if it gets cold, or if I get a chance on a rainy day to run to Des Moines and make more hoops, I'll do that. So I'm gonna move on from LIsianthus, and I'm gonna go start planting some Ranunculus in my 9-inch holes over in the other hoops. Okay, so I had watched a video with Pepper Harrow, and they were putting Ranunculus right into the holes. I know that they pull up their landscape fabric, till, and then put it in, which would probably make this easier. And maybe they have a little bit bigger holes than I do, or maybe my Ranunculus grew too much, but this is not efficient. And I'm thinking, oh, I have to dig all these corms out. This doesn't seem like what I want to do. And I have all that freshly tilled ground over there. It doesn't have a hoop, so maybe I'll just have to cover it with frost cloth or hope they survive. They're supposed to be a cold hardy plant, but I'm not going to do this. This is like, I see this as like driving me crazy now, and then also driving me crazy when I have to take all of these corms out of the ground. Not to mention, I do need this row for Snapdragon, so maybe it's not meant to be. So I'm gonna switch gears. I'm gonna go to the nicely tilled ground. I'm going to put these in not in landscape fabric because they're short-lived, so I'll be pulling them out of the ground and I can just re-till and plant something else in that space. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go put all my Ranunculus in the ground over there, and if I need to cover them, I'll come up with a hoop system of some kind. I don't need to cover them in the next 10 days, so I'm good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. and then I'll take you over there with me, and then I'll use this row for snapdragons. I will leave the few I put in the ground to see. Maybe when, you know, they die back and I pull the corms out, it won't be as much as I thought it was. But right now, this just seems like it's not the most efficient use of my time. Switching gears. So that went a lot faster. I know that area is going to get a lot weedier because of the black fabric, but these are a short-lived flower. You dig them up in a few months. So, I mean, I think it's going to be easier in the end. And I put them along that side because if they do get weedy and the season gets crazy and I don't get them dug up right away, I can always just mow over that area because I'm already mowing like next to it. So I thought that would be the best spot for them, and then that way, if anything else, I can still mow the area and I can try to dig up the corms and save them later. So that's where I decided to put them. It's going a lot faster. I was probably putting them at 6 to 7 inch spacing, and then I remembered, oh, I'm supposed to be doing 9, which is about 1.5 hands of mine. So it is so windy today. Those things are going to be tested with their life. I hope they make it. But anyway, I'm just going to keep getting the ranunculus in the ground, and then hopefully I can get the snapdragons in the ground. I will probably have to protect the snapdragons from the wind with that shade cloth if this keeps up, because it's crazy. Hopefully they all can live through it. Toughen up, little plants. I need you. It has been such a productive morning. My friend Melanie came out again and she just went to work and we got a ton of stuff done. It is so windy out. I think I'm going to call it a day for putting plants out because it's just brutal on them. But we did put a lot of plants in the field. I'm hoping they make it. Ranunculus is poisonous to rabbits and toxic to deer, so I'm hoping they don't decide they want to eat them. I don't know if the ground hog will have a heyday with them. Hopefully they stay away from them as well, since it's obviously not good for animals to eat. But man, look at this. Do you remember how I had this entire greenhouse full of trays? Well, we emptied this entire table. It's just gone. And then 3 trays off of that table are gone. That's a lot of trays. Like, each tray is 72 plants. So we got that many plants in the ground. About 200 ranunculus. I think we put about 72 snapdragons, 72 stock, all of the LIsianthus. So these 6 trays behind me just came out 2 days ago. I definitely don't want to pull them out in full sun. So those we just could not do. The sweet peas are, I just think they would have snapped off. Like, the wind gusts are ridiculous today. So I decided to hold off on putting the sweet peas out, although they were on the list to get done today. They're going to have to move to tomorrow. I do have 2 trays of yarrow, and I considered putting it in, but it just got late and the sun's getting really hot, and watering in direct sunlight when it's hot as can be, I just don't feel like it's a good time to put in plants anymore. So I'll be back at it tomorrow morning. I'll get some more trays in the field. There is The Snapdragons still need hardened off, so there's 2 trays of those. I obviously have all of my seeds that I'm still trying to germinate, but if you remember, I took them out of my basement because it was too hot in my basement, and I thought it would be colder out here. It's not, so I might not have some of those plants, but that's okay. They were all kind of perennial things that I was just filling in holes, so I'll just continue to do that year after year, and maybe one year I'll get lucky and have a huge batch of them. I did have a question about my delphinium. So I tried the delphinium method where I put them on wet paper towels in the refrigerator because it works so well with my Bells of Ireland. I mean, I've never had Bells of Ireland work so good, so I was like, maybe that'll work with delphinium. It doesn't quite work as good, but I waited and I didn't see the seeds germinating under the grow lights, which I might not have waited long enough, so I decided I was just going to throw the seeds into this tray. And as you can see, these over here, the Canes mix came up really well, and then the Toddy Tall Sky, there's a big batch of them that are coming up, and then there's just some random ones. I probably let this dry out, honestly, because it's been sitting out here and not getting pampered like it should, but they did germinate that way. I don't think I would do it that way again. I think I planted a bunch in the field, so it'll be interested to see if just the direct sowing method in the wintertime works the best. I think it is going to work the best for me unless I can find a place to germinate these that is colder than my house or this greenhouse. So, yes. So I'll take you outside. I'll take some pictures. I'll do something to show you all of the stuff that we got done, but I am happy with getting all these trays. It was just full a few days ago, and it's not full anymore. I have room at home again. I think I have like 10 empty spots, so I'll be starting another round of Snapdragons this week. I'll probably start some more stuff that, like today I put stock in the field, and I have a sneaking suspicion this one tray of stock might burn. So, but that's okay. I have a bunch of stock. But the truth is, stock is a cool weather plant. We have a very short window to see if we can even get stock to bloom. Well, me anyway. Maybe I should have gotten it out earlier. People usually grow it in their high tunnels and stuff, so maybe I could cover a hoop house with greenhouse plastic and start my stock and ranunculus and stuff like that a little bit earlier. It is supposed to cool down next week, so I'm hoping getting it in the ground, it can establish a little bit, and then the cooler temperatures will hit and they'll still do okay. But that's what we got done this morning, and I'll just go give you a look. They're pretty short, but I did pick some daffodils today too. Those are the ones I picked the other day. Some are getting too far open, but some of them I could still use if they just hang on a little bit longer.